when I'm at the center in Sayville, at the Silver Broom, I can be in a reading with somebody, and you know my office. I can look out that little window and see people walk in the door. And there have been times where I have seen somebody walk in the door and something said, "Stop the reading right now and go out and go stand with Kathy."
Right.
Works and sure enough, I go out there. I say, "Excuse me, I'll be right back." And it's just a feeling. It's not like he's gonna rob them, he's gonna stab her. It's never played out like that. It's just this.
Right.
It's a pull, and sure enough, I go out there. The person's a whack job. And driving Kathy crazy, which is part of her job. She's got to learn. She has to learn. She deals. We call her the whack magnet. They all just come in when she's there. They never bother me.
You need to give her an amulet, or she needs
well,
to make one
she's
for
surrounded
herself.
by them. She's in a store full of them. Yeah.
You know what I mean.
But even in my life, there's just
and for your loved ones. Well, that would be Kathy. Kathy is
absolutely.
a loved one too,
She's
so,
a loved one.
yeah.
But I know for myself, it really starts with just that. Something's not right here.
I shouldn't go to the party. I should go to the party.
You know, the study of intuition is worth any witch's time. Because it's not, I've said this ad nauseum, I really have to give credit where credit is due. The quote I learned from Carolyn Mace. It's the first time I've mentioned her today. Pretty cool. Usually mention her every 5 minutes. Intuition is not a gift, it's a skill. It is a skill, not a gift. Everybody has it. It is an aspect of life. It is something as simple as tuning into how things feel. I have not mastered it. I can still be lied to, but usually only romantically.
That's because your senses are
Because
sort
I
of
am
askew.
But can you see how there's a difference between emotion and intuition?
Yeah.
Where if I'm emotionally attached, I can't read at all.
Right.
That's why I can't read for Amy.
If you would recommend someone to start in developing their intuition, what would be your suggestion for them?
What would be my suggestion to
Book,
them?
young.
I
Carolyn
really
Mace.
have to say Anatomy of the Spirit by Carolyn Mace to start with, even though that's hard to start with. But I would even say, even without books and all of that, start making a daily practice, more than daily, throughout the day, with little things. Don't start with big, gigantic life choices. Go with, when you're looking at a menu at a diner, at a restaurant, what have you, rather than thinking about fat and calories and what did I eat today, or if I'm actually hungry or not, go with what feels right. Because it is a language of feeling, not to be confused with emotion. See, I think the reason why people are like, well, if I did that, I would eat everything on the menu. That's when you're eating emotionally. That's when your emotions are in charge. That's when you're trying to compensate. But this doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right. It's sort of like an interior GPS. It shows you where you are and what matches.
I'm laughing because I went to a restaurant and I intuitively asked for it. And I said, no, but I want that. And I got what I wanted instead of what I was suggested to get. And boy, I was wrong.
Yeah.
It was tough.
And
it was terrible.
And people have that experience pretty much daily where they go, why didn't I listen to myself?
But that's good that you do it on something that's that simple.
Start there.
Because you don't want it to happen on the bigger things.
Yeah, start with turn
More
left, turn
important
right.
things.
Start with the little things. Food shopping. Which toothpaste should I buy? Wait for what doctor should I go to later on, or who I should marry. Because intuition is not meant on that survival level to be predictive. It's to guide you towards the most empowered choice you can make.
What's the best thing for you at that time?
Not what will be the best thing that will keep me safe. Intuition is not about keeping you safe.
And it's not always sometimes when you get a response, it's not always something that what you might find pleasurable or enjoyable at the moment, but it will help you grow to get really where you want to be.
And that place of, hopefully, empowerment. But I want to really stress, the reason why people don't listen to their intuition is because they tried it once and they didn't get what they wanted.
And that's different than what they should have.
Intuition is not about making you safe in the world. I won't say that. I will say that I have been absolutely from the gut told which way to get to work so that I am there on time.
Right.
But not my time. Some other sort of timing. But that's it's the lower three chakras. That is survival intuition. There is then creative intuition. We haven't met for a month.
Right.
Doing this. Now, I had plenty of opportunities, and I took those opportunities to tune in with Heart, Throat, Third Eye, and Crown on this whole video and audio podcast thing, working with the Tree of Avalon. And it wasn't a lower chakra thing. It was upper chakra, creative intuition. Do I want to keep doing this? And my heart just went, it's like, oh, my heart's into it. Keep going. You know, not this big, well, how much time and what is it going to profit us? And are we going to do? Yeah. And it felt right up here. It wasn't a survival thing, because we both could survive without doing this. But creatively, it's something that feeds us both, and hopefully feeds a lot of people out there too. So it's something that is worth, and I have put my heart into it, so that goes. Now, there is that third level, visionary intuition, which happens in the 8th chakra and above, and that is really where you see your place in life and what you are here to do. But I will tell you, don't shoot for that until you've got your survival intuition down and a good handle on your creative intuition, because a lot of people don't want to know why they're here. They think they do. Here's another thing from Carolyn Mace. Oh, there's a wonderful audio called Divine Madness, Spiritual Madness, where she talks about the dark night of the soul. And she talks about how when you ask the question, for what purpose was I born? Which you'd think everybody would want to know that. A lot of people don't ask that question because it's not a question, it's an invocation. And almost the moment you ask it, your life starts breaking down. Because the only reason you're asking is because you don't know, because you're probably not congruent with your soul. That's why you need to go into a dark night of the soul, in order to break down what is no longer right, what is no longer congruent, so that you can come into contact with that. That's a rough-ass process. So when people tend to ask those mystical questions, who am I? What is God? For what purposes was I born? Where do I come from? These are not just questions, they're invocations. Which, can it lead to premonition? Sure. Can it lead to a visionary experience? Yeah, but you got to look at who the visionaries on our planet have been.
Not necessarily an easy life.
Most of them have been assassinated. Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr. I think JFK, to a certain extent, had that visionary place of what role he was to play in his life. I think we've even seen it throughout certain actors and actresses of our time, although they weren't assassinated literally. Sometimes they were very much assassinated in their character. And I think it's a hard road to walk, knowing why you were here on the... Look, I've had my flashes. I know that I'm not here to conform. Too late for that anyway. You know, I'm certainly not here to be an accountant. And I love accountants. I think they're great. Are you kidding? I don't need any more mystics in my life. I need good accountants, and I have a good accountant. It's like I can handle the mystic end of it, you know?
Got that covered.
Yeah, it's like people say, why don't you date more witches? I'm like, I think I got the witch angle covered.
I got a whole coven full.
It's like I need a complementary opposite. I need someone who can really balance that out for me. So, again, I know we started off talking about, you know, premonitions. I think that they can come in many, many different ways, but I think for anybody sort of entering into this, start with the turn left, turn right, eat this, don't eat this. And I think the most important, know when to shut up. There is a certain intuition that says, don't say that. Now, granted, that's throat chakra. That can be more creative intuition, but there are times where you got to know your audience.
Oh, yeah.
You got to know, even if it's one-on-one, you got to know who you're talking to. And there are things in the second chakra that can tell you one-on-one, where you just sort of ask, should I tell them that? And you'll get an uh-huh or an uh-uh, and to listen to that.
Or run. End this conversation, time to go.
Yep. And probably time to go.
Dale. Yes. Thank you, Dale.
Thank you, Dale.
Thank
Great
you
question.
for this great question.
Blessed be.